Welcome, welcome, welcome to the C-Suite Leadership Journey. My name is Candy Wyndham, and I'm here to help you as a leader to improve team performance, and also to be able to improve team performance, you have to thrive as a leader. And today, and here in this video, you're going to receive strategies, tools, and the right mindset so you can become the best leader for your organization, for your business, and for yourself, because everyone is a leader. It just we are in different levels. But today, listen, we have an incredible guest speaker, and this amazing and incredible woman. She is from Australia. So let's make sure to have a notebook paper, pen and paper, and start writing your questions and all the notes, because she's coming with all the nuggets. But before we start it, I'm going to go and this. Awesome. So right now we have Beth coming on.
Hi there, how are you doing?
I am so excited to have you, Beth, here. You have been an incredible woman. I know you for our masterminds inner circle, and also you are from Australia. You have HR background, you have coaching background, this personality, a lot of certifications, a lot of experience, and I'm so excited for us to listen to you for your leadership journey since you started and who you are currently at right now. So tell us about yourself, Beth.
I want to start, Candy, by saying thank you so much for having me here with you today. It's really a privilege to be invited to share your tribe, to come from that focus of heart and servant leadership, and to share my view of the world and my view of leadership with you. So let's start by saying thank you so much for having me here with you. Who am I? My name is Beth Bergen. I live and work internationally out of my base, which is on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, just a couple of hours above the Queensland-New South border in Australia. What do I do? Currently, I work as a coach with a focus on helping people managers to develop their leadership and their communication skills. And so Candy and I are quite aligned in terms of what we do. I see people managers as anyone who is managing people. And the first people we start with is this person. So we're managing ourselves, we're managing our relationships at home on a number of different levels with the family dynamics. We're managing our relationships out into the community, and we're managing our relationships in the workplace, depending on what our role and our responsibilities are. How did I get here? It's been a long and winding road that's taught me and that has really encouraged me to build this framework around leadership and communication. I've spent time in a lot of different environments and was really surprised to discover that both private and both the private sector, privately owned, and the public sector, didn't matter about the size of the organization, didn't matter whether it was private or public. There are some really toxic work environments out there. Really toxic work environments out there. And that really what that could be boiled down to was whoever was in the role of managing people, leading people, their leadership skills and their communication skills weren't helping the situation. They were getting all stressed out and they were stressing others out. The key moment, or the pivotal moment for me to step out of the public sector and to start to build my own business. I had owned others while I'd been employed in the public sector. I was married at the time. I was no longer married, but the pivotal moment for me was when the CEO of a large organization, a large government organization that I was working with at the time, rolled his eyes when I said, what about the impact this will have on our people? I'm thinking, I'm out of here. I've got to get out of here. And that's what's driven me to be doing the work that I'm doing now.
Wow, that is an incredible story. So when you decide to become an entrepreneur, what exactly mindset do you have? Do you have the right mind? Do you have the same mindset right now when you started a few years ago?
I think I was going to say, I think it's the same. And then I was just checking. In order to start out as an entrepreneur, I think you've got to be prepared to back yourself. You've got to believe in you. And sometimes it can be absolute blind faith. And other times you can be really certain. It depends a lot on your personality. Because I'd owned and operated a number of successful small businesses when I was married, Candy, I felt more comfortable, I guess, about stepping into that role. My mindset has always been pretty solid, pretty positive. I can do this. I come with a strong tendency to lead and to get things happening. I come with a strong sense of self-confidence. The thing that really amazed me, though, in that first little while, was that the voices of those people in that toxic environment that I'd been in, those voices actually became louder in my head. Like when I'd been employed and I was working with them, I'm just kind of going, no, get away. It doesn't matter. When I'd left, and I was lucky in that I'd taken a redundancy payout. So that was the equivalent, based on my years of service. So I almost had 12 months pay to leave with, which gave me that safety net and time to work things out. But it was really amazing because those voices, actually, I could hear them louder. And in my moments of self-doubt, I believed them. I'm going, oh, okay. So where is my mindset now? Being an entrepreneur, it's like this, baby. It's like this, up and down, up and down. And so you've got to have a desire to work on you. You've got to have a commitment to be working on you and a willingness to check in on yourself all the time. Like, how am I doing? And you might want to think about, having conversations with your peers who are in the same situation, getting in a mastermind, getting a coach, all of those kinds of things will help you to maintain it. But yeah,
so
I think it's the same.
So as a leader, especially when we own our business, it's an emotional journey. Do you have the support of somebody who can help you during the process, or how do you get over the challenges?
In a number of different ways. I think that it's always good to have, whether it's your life partner or whether it's someone else that you know and love, who will be your critical friend, who will say the things that need to be said to you. I think it's really important to have that person. I think that it's really important to have a coach or a mentor, depending on where you are in your organization, someone who will hold the mirror up to you in a way and with a skill set that the others won't. And I also believe about that whole kind of proximity thing, where it makes a lot of sense to have, whether it's a larger group or whether it's a small group, to have that kind of mastermind concept, and where sometimes people choose to have a mastermind with others who are in the same industry as them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually find it quite stimulating to be in a group where we're not all in the same industry, because they bring a different perspective. And it also challenges me to explain my challenge or my issue in a different way. I've got to explain it so they get the bit that's actually the challenge.
I love it. I love it, because you just come up with something that I always said to my clients: you got to look things in a different perspective. Whatever you are, if you're looking in this way, you're going to have one view, but if you go to this side, you're going to have a different view, or you go above, right? It's something that we learned in NLP. That's basically you go around the 360 to see the different perspectives. So that is super critical. And especially
I think too that when you're with people who are from a different industry, and I mean having a mastermind with people in your same industry will give you a different perspective, because we're all different people. We have different personalities with different values and things. We look at things differently. When you do it outside of your industry, as I said, it forces us to explain it differently, to learn how to explain with greater clarity. It also serves the entire mastermind, because they're forced to come up with an answer and to look at things differently. And what you're actually doing is bringing them a different perspective to their own situation at the same time. And that is so valuable.
Yes, I remember when this is, oh my God, this is really an amazing topic, masterminds, because sometimes we think that the masterminds is just going and learn about something new, but it's actually come up with a problem, and you get in a circle of maybe 2 or 3 leaders, depending on how big the group is, and then you explain the problem and you get different solutions, and you just make notes and take action. But
because all good masterminds should hold us accountable too, shouldn't they, Candy? Like, it's not just let's go have coffee and a chat. You come with the issue, like one of the ones I'm in, we're timed, and then at the end we all drop our actions into a common WhatsApp group, and when we start the next one by checking to make sure that actually been done. Because otherwise you're just shooting the breeze. And you can do that with anyone.
Exactly. I've been in those masterminds that you pay a lot of money, and if you come out with the problem and they give you the solution, you don't do nothing about it, then you just put your money on a different bucket. Literally, that's what happened. So tell me a little bit more about your leadership journey, especially right now that you've been doing this for so many years. So I have an internal private question. I'm going to pull it up here. It says from Maria. She said she wanted me to ask you, what has been the biggest challenge during this journey? But she also emphasized that she wants to know more about what strengths do you feel are important to be a successful leader, especially when every leader has different flavors, different they come from different packages. Good question, Maria.
Okay, that's a great question. I could go on forever about this, but I'll try and keep it short. I love these kind of questions. So thank you, Maria. It's an awesome question. So the first one is curiosity. I observe that for many leaders, they shift into a role or a responsibility, and they forget that they don't know everything. they forget, they kind of, and you can get all serious about it, like I'm a leader now, I'm in charge. And when they get serious, they lose that desire to be curious, to ask questions, to give others the opportunity to tell them how they would do something. That they lose that. So I think curiosity is really important. The second one that I think is vital, and the second and the third one really go quite closely together. The second one is authenticity. People need to understand how you're feeling, like not in a you've got to dump on them every day kind of a way. No, don't do that. It's about being real, being who you are, and letting them know that you're riding a bit of a wave in terms of what's happening, but that you're prepared to overcome that. And when you can be authentic, you can actually ask people what's going on for them, and you can authentically listen, and they feel valued by that. You can find out what people are doing for Thanksgiving. You can find out what people are doing at Christmas time. You can find out what's going on with them and continue to ask some questions about that. And they will respect you and like you as a result of you showing your authenticity. Yeah.
Excellent.
And what follows immediately on from that is your vulnerability. Leaders have to be, in my view, leaders must be able to acknowledge they don't have all the answers. I've got to be able to acknowledge I stuffed up. I got that wrong.
Yes. And that's when, and that's when the mastermind comes.
Yeah.
Let's get into the team and then start asking questions
and
how we
talk
can
it through. Yeah. You've got to be prepared to acknowledge that maybe there's a different way of doing this. Maybe there's a better way of approaching it. There's two more very quickly. They go together. The first one is the willingness to say yes. A willingness to say yes. You've got to be lifting your team up and motivating your team by trusting them enough to let them have a go at something. By trusting them enough so that if they've got an awesome idea, you might have to, iron off some of the rough edges of it, but to trust them enough, so that willingness to say yes. The flip side of that is that as a leader, you've also, Maria, got to have this willingness to say no. Don't wait too long to say no. So, like if your gut, if everything in you, if your heart, in all of that, if all of that is saying to you, no, say no early. Say no early.
Yes, it's better when you doubt. It's just better just say no.
Yeah.
Because when you have the 100% certainty, Maria, you're gonna say yes directly. Yes, let's do it. When you doubt it, it's better just say no.
Yeah.
And then you can say yes later.
And the other thing too is that as a leader, if what you do is say yes to every silly thing that comes along, then people come along with sillier and sillier requests, and the classic one of that is you let one person have a couple of hours or a couple of days off, and suddenly that becomes a tidal wave of everybody wanting to put their hand up and do the same thing. So, there's processes and ways of doing things that are going to come in behind each of those, willingness to say yes and willingness to say no. So I'm skimming the surface of it here.
Wow, guys, that just dropped a lot of nuggets, a lot of good information, great things. Hopefully you're making notes, because you need to have that list in front of your computer, your mirror, your car, whatever you are, because those are the things that you really have to base your leadership. So this is great, Beth. So I wanted to ask you another question here is, we all have challenges. We all have challenges during our leadership. So what has been the number one challenge that you have since you become a leader?
there's a couple. Well, there's really two. One is about me, and the other one is about teams. For me, the biggest challenge has been maintaining the harmony, and I'll explain what harmony is in a minute. Maintaining the harmony while I'm maintaining the momentum. Where I personally don't believe in work-life balance, because in my view, for one thing to be in balance, the other one has to be out of balance. That's just how it works. You know, a seesaw doesn't very often sit like this. It's mostly like that. So for one thing to be in balance, the other has to be out. So I call it harmony, because you need lots, you know, if you think about harmony, the definition of harmony, it goes something like this. It's a whole lot of things working together to create the sound. So I want my life to be in harmony, which is, you know, week one's different from week two, day one's different from day two, and there's all sorts of stuff happening. So you have to put in systems to bring all of that together. Sometimes you're more focused on work, sometimes you're more focused on home, or whatever. So for me, just that maintaining that harmony while maintaining the momentum. The other thing I should say is that I raised two sons by myself with little to no input from their father from the time they were quite small. So there were some other factors that came into that. The second aspect, the second real challenge, is around managing people, and that's why I talk about you know, I help people managers, because we're all people managers, as I said before. So it's about those teams, it's about managing those people. And the challenge, you know, for me, in order to have the harmony, I've got my team at work, but I've also got my team at home. So you know, someone comes to mow my lawn, someone comes to clean my car regularly, because I'm not good at that stuff, and it takes up my time where I want to be doing things with the rest of my at-home team, which is my family. My family and my friends. So it's so you've got to kind of put in systems and be prepared to, in order to achieve that harmony, be prepared to, you know, keep a diary, schedule stuff, make sure you're following up on people, connect with friends, do all of those kinds of things, so that part of your life is in harmony. With your team at work, oh, I love personalities. And boy, don't you get lots of different personalities in a team.
You have to find different languages.
And sometimes, Candy, those personalities really grate on me, and sometimes I'm sure I grate on them. You know, that's a beautiful thing about working with people and working with teams. And so it's about learning yourself, continuing to grow myself, developing my knowledge about communication, developing my understanding of other people and what their drivers might be, developing my understanding of other people and what their view of the world might be, what their saboteurs might be, what their values are. And understanding that, well, this person over here might be really seriously motivated by money. This person here actually wants to have more time with their family. And never treating, you know, when we have more than one child, it's really important that we treat each of them in an individual way, because they are individuals, and it's kind of the same with our teams. Yeah, and I've learned some of those lessons the hard way. Some of those lessons, you know, things like, have you ever had someone in your team quit, like they resign, and you talk them into staying, and then you only ever do that once in your life, don't you? Like you talk them into staying, and then about 3 weeks later you go, what did I do that for? At that, because you're really handing over your power as a leader.
Yeah.
I don't mean power in a power negative way. I can't, just like you're handing it to them, and often they'll then proceed to take advantage of you because they think you need them more than they need you. Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. Sometimes when I have somebody from my team, hey, Candy, today is my last day. Okay, cool. Anything I can support you during moving forward, just I'm gonna be here. We're gonna become, this is the strategy that I use is any relationship, even if it's intimacy relationship, friendship relationship, work relationship, or leader as a manager or whatever relationship, it's always getting out of that relationship in a red carpet. What it means, with elegance, very nicely, leaving the doors open and never being like crazy or fighting or anything like that. So that is great. Oh my God, Beth, you're this is awesome. This has been incredible, amazing. Good. Oh my God, you guys this is gonna be the #1 video of the year. This is amazing. So Beth, I always like to ask this question to everyone who I interview, especially right now that you're providing so much value to the Try as a Leader community. And there are some people who are CEO, leaders, team leaders in this community. So if you will be to write your own book, what will be the title and what will be the summary on the back?
The title, if the book was about me, then and my journey, then the title would be Passion, Wisdom, and Joy. And the reason it would be that is because that's the way I've tried to live my life. Sometimes I get it right. I often say to people, Candy, some days I'm magnificent and other days I'm ordinary, and that's okay. That's okay. But it would be called Passion, Wisdom, and Joy. I want people to live life with passion. I try to have passion in my life. That's my focus. Wisdom, because we're continuing to grow. We're building our own wisdom. And my life has been a lot about sharing that wisdom, my wisdom, with others, but encouraging others to start to reap their own inner wisdom. And joy, because if you don't have joy, baby, like life's a bit dull. There are so many components for joy, and I see so many people who've forgotten just to check and notice the joy that's around them. And what I would say on the back is something like this. Beth shares her journey of a roller coaster life well lived from the perspective of passion, wisdom, and joy. Join her and gain the benefits of as she shares her wisdom.
Incredible. You just mentioned my future last name, or I don't know, but most of the people say, "Hey, Candy Winsome." It's a Candy Winsome. I don't know that I need to change my last name.
I have a question for you. Will it cost less to change one letter of your surname, or is it the same for changing the whole thing? Because you don't have to change much to make it wisdom, do you?
Only one letter.
What a great idea. Yeah.
Only one letter.
Does it cost less? I don't know.
Yeah, so the community here is Beth. She has been giving us so much tools, so much information, nuggets, especially the strategies to become a better leader, and also how we can manage our team, just a little bit of things. Everything is in a high level, but if you want to grow and you want to learn a little bit more in depth, just connect with us. We are here to support you. And especially in the challenges that is coming up, you're going to get more in depth on this situation. So Beth, how they can connect with you, how they can follow you, where they can find you?
On Facebook, it's Beth Bergen, and my surname is spelled with a G in it, so Berghan, N for Nelly. So Beth Bergen, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and they can also go to bethbergen.com if they'd like to go to my website. I'm, let me know, just remind me. I saw you on the podcast with Candy, and yeah, I welcome you with open arms. We'll start our communication. We'll have a chat.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have one last question from Mark.
Yep.
He just sent it to me. Thank you, Mark, for sending this question. He said, what happens if we are leading a team, but this team is so difficult? What would you do? What would you suggest?
A difficult team requires a different approach. And often it can be about coming back to the beginning. And it's Mark, I'm going to be a bit generic because obviously I don't understand the history of, how long you might have been there, what the makeup of the team is, or whatever. The approach that I would take is to strip it all back a little bit. It's kind of like hovering over the top of it and looking at what's working and what's not working in the team, with the emotion taken out of it. Sorry, I should have said that earlier, because difficult teams come with lots of emotions, and it can mean that unless you find a way to take the emotions out of the conversations that you're having with them, that you get caught up in the emotion and nothing actually gets done, because people are reacting to what you might be saying from that emotional perspective, and what we know is the more heightened our emotions are, the less likely we are to have a logical response to that. So I would be kind of stripping it back and looking at what you think is working and what you think is not working, and then looking to bring some of those key people together to have a real raw conversation around, this is where I see that we're at. And I want you guys to give me some feedback about that. We need to make this work. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be telling you what I think is happening. You're looking at it from a different perspective. Now, if it's a really, really large team, you're going to choose those people who, you're not just going to choose those people who have leadership titles, because there's an awful lot of people in any team who are charismatic leaders. So then they're people who others are just naturally drawn to. There are those who are servant leaders. There are those who lead from their heart, all of those kinds of things. But there are also those people who just are charismatic. Now, some of those will be positive, but some of them may be negative influences into your team. So you've got to bring those people to the table. So it requires you being a little bit astute about, where does the balance of power sit in this team? Who are what are now called the influencers? Those people who are the influencers. And in a large team, I would bring those people together and then send them out to be influencing, to be gathering more data to come back to make it better. Frank conversations. Not long-winded, Mark, not, oh, well, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Just direct. This is what's going on. These are my observations. Happy for you guys to disagree. We've got to have a start point. Mm-hmm. Want to work hard on this? Because it's not working the way it is. Yeah? Don't beat around the bush or make it all lots of fancy language. Just come right in and do that. If it's a smaller team, Mark, then I would take the same approach, but I would have the whole team there. And I would be thinking about dividing them into smaller groups to discuss things. If you have 8 people, 4 groups of 2 is going to move the discussion forward. People will feel more comfortable sharing their ideas into a group of 2 than they will into that larger group of 8, particularly when what you're doing is talking about a difficult subject. You've got to set it up so you're giving them permission to talk. I kind of feel like I may have answered some of what you're looking for, and possibly may have missed the mark on a couple of things with your question, Mark. However, as I said before, not understanding all of the context feels to me like that's given you a place to start.
Yes, excellent. Oh my God, what a great question. Thank you, Mark, for bringing that to this conversation. Thank you, Beth. That's really appreciate you having you here today. That is really amazing. Just remember, if you have any follow-up questions, just like below the video, make your comments, ask the questions, and Beth is gonna be answered those. On if she's not available, I will be able to jump in if it's needed. So just remember, we are here to help you in this journey, and just we are here as a friend. So thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate your help. Now let's say bye to Beth. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to spend time with you. Thank you, everyone. Bye now.
Bye, Beth. Thank you so much. Oh my God, guys, this is awesome. And right now we are going to just close it. Thank you so much for being here. And I will talk to you later.